The first one within these modalities or these ways of healing yourself, because sometimes people like to be a little bit fancy with their wording, the methods of healing is havening. And the havening method is so simple. It's so simple, and what it does is it releases delta brainwaves in your brain when you go through these techniques. And what's so important about changing your brain waves is that when you release more delta waves in your brain, which is a relaxed, deeply relaxed state, what happens is this deeply relaxed state gives you access to your unconscious mind. Do you remember before how I talked about the jockey and the horse, or the horse rider and the horse, and how the horse rider was the conscious mind and the horse is the unconscious mind? And if you don't have a good bond, you're going for a ride on that horse. If it's got a mind of its own, if it's going to not have any communication with the rider. Well, this is why we love havening. I love havening because havening is releasing delta waves so you can start to open up your mind and have a conversation with your horse. Or more importantly, the horse whisperer of your mind or the mind whisperer of your unconscious. That is the power of havening. It starts to allow you to relax the system and get better messages into your unconscious. Seems to be super powerful also for healing traumatic events. Traumatic events that are really affecting you in the negative, really triggering inside your system. And this is a way of reframing that decision that this equals that. This bad situation equals I'm going to freak out, because that bad situation might not be appropriate anymore. One great example I've seen on one case study was where a gentleman had trouble walking on the beach because he saw his children on the beach one day running along the surf, and as they went around a corner, he wasn't sure if they were safe. And so every time he went onto a beach after that moment, because the tide would come in and he realized, oh, they may not have made it past a certain point and been swept out to sea. And so he was freaking out in that moment. Ever since, when he's gone to the beach, this gentleman was freaking out when he having a whole body reaction, hyperventilating, sweating, nervous when he was at the beach, which he hated. And so a havening professional was able to take him on that journey and calm his amygdala and get his amygdala, his emotional master, to calm him down, to realize that this was not actually a dangerous event, just walking on the beach. So this is the power of the havening technique. So that's why I love it. It releases delta waves and it calms you down. And you can detach from a traumatic event. So the havening technique, where does it come from? Well, it was an American psychologist named Dr. Ronald Rudin who came up with this strategy. And this was because he was studying the effects of emotional freedom technique, which is the technique I taught you in the first present moment series of activities. And Dr. Ronald Rudin realized that the touching of the face and the different points on the body was actually releasing delta waves. And so he developed this methodology of havening. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a little demonstration on what havening is. And in particular, self-havening. And so what's powerful about this is you can go home and practice it. You can certainly Google lots of examples on YouTube and you'll find yourself really calming down. Sounds good, doesn't it? So let's jump in to havening, in particular self-havening, a nice, gentle way of calming your emotional master, that amygdala inside your brain, or the two amygdalas that are in there. Now, before we get into havening, one thing I do need to make crystal clear is that I'm not a qualified havening specialist. What I am doing with this havening touch psychosensory modality is I'm sharing with you my personal havening technique, which I've picked up from viewing hundreds of different videos online. So this is my own personal one. If you want to get it from the originators, go and check out the havening.org website and go and see Dr. Ronald Rudin and all of his research. It is an amazing website. There is so much in there and you will get a lot out of it. If you are a practitioner of any sort, that's the place where you would go. And I read up on all of the requirements as far as one of the main things I do like about this site is they make you do 30 case studies after you've done the training. So that's 30 examples where you've helped someone with the havening touch, which you're about to learn, and how that's helped the person. Whether it be anxiety, or they've got a deep trauma, or shallow trauma, whatever it might be. I think havening is a really simple, logical technique when you think about the touch of your mother when you're a baby and how that soothes a baby. Well, turns out we never lost that sensation. We need that touch to calm our nervous system. It makes us know it's okay. So I'm just letting you guys know that this particular module is not one of my qualified areas. This is my personal area of calming my system. And so if you want to check it out properly, go and see the official channel of havening. Now, I hope you enjoy my little technique. Twinge, my take on havening, and it's really an entry point into the professionals at the other end. I hope you enjoy. Havening. What is it? Well, if you were to speak to the experts, it's a psychosensory modality. And what that means is the mind and the senses are working together. And it's basically a series of strokes on your body. The first one I'll get you to try out is just rubbing your hands like this and play around with it and notice how it feels. Rubbing your hands together. And what this will do is it starts to release some delta waves in the body, in the brain, calming your system down. That's the first touching point, just the hands like that. And play around with the sensitivity so that you really get that sensation. Some people want it firmer, some people want it softer. I have it reasonably very light actually, so I get a sensation across the hands. Okay, that's the first maneuver. The second maneuver is the forehead. Just the forehead, and play around with the forehead. Very lightly with your fingers, stroking down the forehead. And then come around to the side a little bit. And then down to the cheeks. And stroking from the nose, along the cheeks, back to the top, down from the top. Calming yourself down. And just imagining that you're on a beach, nice and calm, hearing the waves, relaxing. How's that feel? So we have this one on the forehead. We have just under the eyes on the cheeks. We have the hands. And now finally, the pièce de résistance is the shoulders. Coming down like this, from the top of your shoulders to your elbows. having that sensation coming down the shoulders to the outside, like you're being given a hug by someone else. So those are the 4 moves. The forehead, on the cheek, under the eye, the hands, and the outside. Now that you have those 4 maneuvers, we can now look at a beautiful sequence to calm down your amygdala. Think about that anxious thought, or the thing that is your anxiety. Maybe it's a feeling in the body. Maybe it's an overthinking. Maybe it's a catastrophic thinking. Maybe it's just your racing thoughts won't stop, and just negative thing after negative thing pops in. Whatever it might be, you obviously know it very well. Now what we're going to do is, with that in mind, I want you to start the havening process. Start up here, and as you're stroking, I want you just to say the word calm, 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 relax, and calm. To the cheeks, calm, calm, calm. That's it. And to the shoulders, calm, 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 calm. And finally to the hands, calm, 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 and calm. And you might have one of those areas that's much more powerful than the others. I've heard that this up here is so much more powerful on the havening delta waves, but everyone's a little bit different, and so you need to play with your system and your touch and understand how that calms you the best. Play with the sensation, play with how hard or soft you touch yourself, and just play with how you stroke and the direction and the position. Get it right for you.